And as he's been torturing me, I haven't been able to live life. So he lies about me being a loser because I can't really do anything with the torture. I can't live my life. So he just thinks I'm a lump of flesh, and he thinks the community is getting a lot out of me, and a lot more out of my death than my life. That's what he believes. Now maybe higher up though, they do testing on people at a young age, and they do see higher IQs or creative thinkers, and they're like, well, we've got a little algorithm. We're going to put this equipment out. We know who's going to use it. We know who it needs to be used against. So we'll make these certain rules that, if somebody's doing this or that, they're a person of interest. And maybe they've got it kind of figured out from a top-down thing, and they really are kind of going after people who could be trouble for, just the hierarchy in general. Way higher up, but they have a system of how this all kind of works out and who gets picked out and who does it, but where the people who are microwaving us have no idea. They're just like, oh, this little fuck, we're gonna get him, and he's not doing anything, and then he'll make more money for the community dead or in prison than he will, working for his charity or his family. So they're in the dark too. Like, we're all being used. I'm being especially used because I'm being, raped and microwaved and, lied on, and then people don't even believe me, so I can't even get medical help. I can't even tell my psychiatrist the whole truth. I'm really getting dumped on. But this guy who's doing it to me, he's not in the great know. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, he might even just think, well, I'm just, using chaos for order. I'm killing this guy, and he'll do something bad, and then our society will react in a good way. He's dumb. Like, he's a dumb guy. But up at the top, they probably do have something that they figured out to where it's like, okay, we got a certain type of person who is going to be trouble. They're going to be trouble for our government. They're going to be trouble for just pushing agendas, because we're kind of in a socialist time right now. The Citizens Corps were really, I think they were created after Obama's, after Obama got elected. So it was a very socialist thing, a socialist trend. And I don't think that's true. I think they were made a long time before, but I think it picked up steam after Obama was elected, because he put the BRAIN initiative into place, and a lot of socialist programs, like having community building and stuff like that. Those are semantics that they use for, like, basically having a civilian army. Like people in a community who will police, and those things are socialist. They're socialist or even communist. Like, we don't have that. Like, in a democracy or a republic, you can do what you want to do, and your neighbor can't say shit about it unless you're hurting somebody. That's what we have in America, and people need to realize. They need to realize that this stuff, like right here with these microwave weapons, directed energy, gang stalking, or whatever they call it, InfraGard, Citizen Corps, these things are socialist. They're more communist. So it's a great delusion, because you see these gang stalkers, and I see some of them, they have American flags waving on the back of their cars, or they look like kind of good old boys, or stuff like that. But that's not what's going to keep this country in place. Socialism will tear this country down so fast before we even blink twice. And this stuff is socialism. Having community policing and stuff, that's not what America's based off of. America's based off, if you're not hurting anybody, you can do what you want to do on your private property, and you can't have somebody surveilling you on your private property, because it's against America. It's against the Constitution. It's against the spirit of what our founders wanted. They wanted everybody to be left alone, to be able to practice their religion however they wanted, to be able to have their families and do what they want, unless they were hurting somebody. If they were hurting somebody, there's police, and there's there's prison and things like that. But if you're not hurting anybody, nobody can just encroach on your your civil rights, especially your right to life, which this is encroaching on people's right to life, and they haven't done anything. The majority, the vast majority of TIs haven't even committed a crime. And there may be 5% of target individuals who've committed a crime, but they've done time for it already. And that's not me. The worst thing I've done is smoke weed. What I was telling, I do talk to V2K sometimes, and I was just saying, it's very ironic because my whole life I've never hidden anything from anybody. I'm the first guy to tell everybody what I'm doing or what I'm thinking. I don't see the purpose of a life where you can't tell people what you're doing. If you can't tell people what you're doing, then you're doing something wrong, obviously. But this guy, he has to hide everything. I mean, he has to hide the fact, that he's, doing this. And there's the city police right there. I do want to just, maybe I'll get it on camera. But I do want to I want to kind of look at the camera, because I haven't done a face front video in a while. No, but and he went around the corner there. He's coming around. I don't think you can make it. Yeah, you can't make a U-turn there. But this guy, he has to hide everything. He has to hide everything. Like he can't go and tell my parents, "Hey, I'm microwaving your kid." I'm also remote neural monitoring him, and monitoring his brain activity and visuals in his visual cortex. He can't do that. My parents would be like, "Well, you're dead," and they would kill him, or they'd try and get him in jail. Because he's murdering their kid. He won't go with me to the police and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing and this is what he's doing," because I'm not doing anything. I'm using the bathroom in my private home, playing video games, which on the V2K, they're like, "Oh, did you see that? He's crazy." But now they're getting so desperate, and I'm learning that reacting to him just doesn't get me anywhere. And just getting on these calls does, and awareness does, but just interacting with them or communicating with them in any way doesn't help at all, because they just use it. And so now it's just I guess what they see is they see that they're pushing me back. So it's they'll even thoughts. I'm thinking of a video game, or I'll think of a girl or something, like a good-looking girl, and they'll be like, "Oh, we gotta kill him." Just hyper reactions, or I'll be looking over in my car, I'll look over at something, and they'll go, "Oh, did you see, he's paranoid, he's looking to the left." And I guess that they picture this as some kind of how pushing me back, I'm getting pushed back into, even when I look left or use the bathroom, it's they're yelling on the V2K like they did at the beginning when I was yelling at them and stuff like that. I'll rarely yell at them now. It doesn't do any good. It's just going to get me in trouble. But we do have to defeat this. We do. It's retarded, because it's they're just reacting to smaller and smaller things. And they see this as great. I mean, they see this as power. They feel powerful. I can tell on the V2K. This guy is very desperate and urgent to finish this somehow. Yeah, I don't know if that's a psyop though. You guys comment on that. My attackers, they're very urgent. They're like, it's over. It's over. Because I guess they want it to be over, so they're saying that it's over or something like that. It's such insanity. I really don't understand how this all works, what they're trying to do. I think it's a psyop to make me feel more urgent, to psych me out and to make me feel a sense of urgency all the time, because they're cook him, it's fine, he's crazy, you can kill him. Somebody every once in a while will be like, "Kill him?" They're asking for an order. I have responded to that. What I've said is, you're not getting a kill order in the military. You're murdering an American citizen. You're a criminal. You're a serial killer. You're not getting a kill order, because they'll go every once in a while, some guy will go, "Kill him?" "Hey, it's okay." And there's another one, Department of Public Safety. So I am being, the vehicular stalking is still very big. But I did, I might not be getting those on camera. It's pretty dark. But, so they say stuff that's really urgent. It's really nasty, too. But mine's a colder military op. Like, I hear other people, and especially women, where it was like one girl, they rape these women. They electronically rape these women. They watch them in the shower. They watch them sleep. They electronically rape them, like in their private parts. They do the same to me. Like, at night, they will give me, they'll make it down there, so that's always up all night long, while I'm sleeping. Every time I go to sleep, the whole time I'm sleeping. It's not, for me, it's not that they're electronically raping me, which I think they do it to some guys and to some women, a lot of them, because this is about that. For me, I think they're trying to damage my genitals. They're trying to give me a constant excitation. I'll just say excitation. I'll try and say it as nice as I can. Or boner. It's kind of a joke. It's kind of a gross joke. I'm sorry, guys. But they're doing that to me to damage it. Because I know they're doing it to damage it for me. Because I'm a 35-year-old hairy guy. And some women do. A lot of women find me cute and attractive. I've never had trouble getting a girlfriend at all. But with this, it's a lot of trouble, and this guy doesn't. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the stuff is so weird. I'm not sure. He has a wife and kids, but it seems like somebody told me that they were like, people who do this, they have families, they build families as a cover because they're so bizarre. They do this bizarre stuff, but, it works. Look how good it works. I'm sitting here talking on a YouTube video about how this guy is torturing me, and he's, like, messing with my genitals and stuff with microwaves, but he has a family. He has a wife and kids, so I'm the one from non-TIs. Like, TIs will understand this, but non-TIs are going to question it more. They're going to be like, that guy has a wife and kids. There's no way he's doing that to you. There's no way he's going to be doing that kind of stuff to you. But you see how well it works. You see how well it works there. There's some pieces of crap in our society that I didn't know about. Like, I feel like I was sheltered my whole life. I had two great parents, and my grandparents were great people, just hardworking. They didn't steal or hurt people. That's what I was taught to do, and I just thought everybody was like that. I read superhero comic books all the time. And I was very sheltered, but there's some pieces of crap in the world. I'm not trying to say that to be, hopeless. We have a lot of hope in the world. There are a lot of people who are very good. They were raised well, and there's a very good thing. Like, this guy who's doing it to me, his wife doesn't agree with it, and she'll never agree with it. And a lot of the dialogue on the V2K is looping, but even his wife was against him on this. Like, and not because she was not loyal or anything, just because she's not a murderer. So even in that one household, it was like him wanting to do it, and there was a person there who was like, is never going to acquiesce to something like this. So there's very hopeful things in this. So I don't want to be hopeless, but there are a lot of pieces of shit out there, and they really do not see themselves as pieces of shit. Excuse my French. I prayed before this video too. Maybe God wants me to cuss. That was another joke. The fact that I have to tell you guys that I'm trying to make a joke is kind of a bad sign, right? I'm gonna watch the cussing though, since I'm doing the prayers at the beginning of the videos. But I mean, I'm not sure, but there's a lot of hopeful things. There's a lot of hopeful people. But I realized that, I was very sheltered in my life, and I just did not expect this. This came from this sidewinded me, knowing there were people like this. I'd studied a little bit about 9/11 and people thinking that, it was an inside job. And, now I do. I think in 2008, I started thinking that. I started thinking that it was an inside job, that we do a lot of false flags to push agendas. There's a shooting every week. you know, to